Konnichiwa, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about who controls the sales call. Za eigyo desu. Sore de wa ikimashou. So let's get going. This is the 5th year of the Sales Japan series podcast, broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku, here in downtown Tokyo. It is chic central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Tokyo, Japan, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, and now my new book in Japanese, Za Eigyo, is available on Amazon. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive COVID-19. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentation Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 291. Today, we're talking about your agenda or the buyer's when selling. What would the buyer's agenda be during the sales call? Don't take too long because I'm busy. Don't waste my time with stuff I don't need. Don't erode my cash flow. Don't rip me off. Would probably be the most relevant. Our clients often tell us one of the biggest problems they have with their sales teams is the buyer runs a sales meeting. Their own salespeople just sit there nice and sweetly and do whatever the buyer wants. We are paying them, but we feel they're working for the buyer, not for us, is another common complaint. This is all very fortunate, or we would have nothing to do. Always be closing is an old saw in sales, and it's partially correct. As salespeople, we have no idea if what we do or what we have is going to be relevant for the buyer. From the buyer's point of view, they are not sure if we or our company are the right people to do business with. We need to build trust from the very start before we even think about closing the buyer. How do we do that? Trust is hard to build in sales. The image of salespeople is high pressure, lots of smooth talking, and duplicitous attempts to get a sale. This would be a great set of descriptions for failing salespeople who will shortly be ejected from the profession. We do not want to get smeared with that brush, so we need to make it clear to the buyer we are real professionals. We present ourselves in a manner which says, this is a solid person who looks professional. Buyers initially only have our outward appearance to go by when they meet us. We must make that a winner. For men, that means no food stains on the tie, no crumpled suit or one which doesn't fit properly, no scuffed, worn-down shoes, clean, ironed shirt, etc. In my experience, women have better common sense about how to dress for business and don't have these types of problems. What comes out of our mouth has to be clear, articulate, and confident. That means no umming and ahhing. If we don't sound like we know what we are doing, the buyer is certainly not going to feel they can trust us. We start by explaining 4 things. 1, who we are. 2, what we do. 3, who else we've created success for. And 4, our suggestion that maybe we can do the same thing for this client. This should be concise and clear in order for the buyer to decide to invest more time listening to us rather than getting back to more pressing matters. Next, we map out the meeting. We do this so that we are in control of the agenda and don't allow the buyer to take us off course or hijack the sales call. This might be a prepared piece of paper for the buyer to look at, or we might just go through the items verbally. We start with the benefit to the buyer to have this meeting with us. Next, we ask how familiar they are with our company and what perceptions they may have. Why would we ask about perceptions? Aren't we setting ourselves up for trouble with that type of question, you might be thinking? Find out more when we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Today's show is being brought to you by, on the 14th of June, we're doing our previews. On the 17th, we'll do our Dale Carnegie course. That's great for, well, growing your confidence, to do things out of your comfort zone, how to be a leader, how to work with people in your team, how to work with clients, how to work with bosses, how to work with subordinates, how to manage your stress, how to be persuasive when you're in front of other people. Great program. On the 24th of June, we will do more previews. On the 25th of June, we'll do the Dale Carnegie course again. Check out our website, www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, that's the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. And they're all available on Amazon. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 1,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. And don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. Now, in the rough and tumble of business, competitors may be spreading false information about our financial situation, or this client may have had trouble with one of our salespeople who preceded us, who has long since left the company, but not the memory of the buyer. We need to draw this resistance out early and deal with it, because if we don't, it will sit there as a blocker to building trust with the buyer. If the perception is so bad, then we won't be able to make a sale anyway, so we are better off to meet it head on and early. If the buyer says, I remember one of your company's sales reps and he was useless and unreliable, so why should I deal with your company? We can reply, Mr. Customer, if you had a member of your sales team who was not reliable and you received complaints about him from customers, what would you do? The buyer will probably say, I would fire him, or I would move him out of a sales role. At this point, we say, that is exactly what we did, which is why I am here today to serve you and make sure my company provides you with real value. After getting through the perceptions bear pit, we move on to suggest we look at their current situation and where they would like to be in 3 to 5 years. We also add, we will look at any challenges which may be impacting the company's ability to get to those 5-year goals fast enough and any implications therein. This is a small detail here which is very important. We don't just talk about getting to their goals. Given 100 years, they could probably do it on their own without any assistance from us, and there would be no sale. Instead, we inject the element of speed to reaching the goals, which gives us some leverage to talk about how we can speed up the solution achievement from our side. We then talk about addressing how we might be able to assist the company based on our solution lineup. Importantly, we then ask, how does that agenda sound, and do you have any items you would like to add? If they have no other points, then we ask sweetly, may I ask a few questions? And we are off to the races with the sales call. Doing it this way increases our ability to direct the sales call. We can get enough information to know whether we can in fact help them, and if we can, then how we can help them. This is the professional's way of doing sales. Is this what your sales team are doing, or are they being pushed around by the buyer? Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, please work on your karma and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Use it and go out there and survive. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.